Hello, and welcome back to my Astroimaging Journey channel. Here we are, nice cold January 20th, and we're going to try to get a couple things done tonight. We've got some wind, so I don't know how much imaging I'm going to be able to do tonight, but at least I'm going to try. Tomorrow night's supposed to be a better night, but there's something else I want to try to do tonight, and that is we have the super blood wolf moon. And next time that's coming around is in 18 years, I believe. So if I'm gonna get it, I gotta get it tonight. So I'm gonna actually try to three different things tonight. Something similar to what I did with the Comet 46P, if you've seen that video. And first is I'm gonna be taking the camera I'm recording on here and setting that up on the tripod like it is now. Try to get the moon transiting across, including the eclipse and beyond. So hopefully I can fill up the memory card with plenty of transition shots and make a nice little slideshow out of that. So that's item number one I want to try to do. Item number two is clearly use the OTA to get to use backyard EOS in the planetary mode. The moon is big enough that with the 1960 millimeter focal length that it's currently configured at, it gets cut off a little bit. So I'm going to try with that planetary mode, and I believe it's star stacks, and see if I can move it up and down and left and right, at least in the frame that is, north, south, east, west on the controller, and try to get the whole encompassed moon and stack the images in, I believe it's star stacks. So that'll be my first attempt at that, and hopefully that works out pretty well. And then the last thing I want to do is with this camera here is once it's in total eclipse, so somewhere between 1140 and 1240, I'm going to take this camera and do a slight detour with it and use a different tripod so I don't touch this one, and put the 600 millimeter telephoto lens on it, which should give me an effective 900 millimeters with the APS-C sensor, and try to get the close in shot of the moon with that. And if we're lucky, we're lucky. And because the reason I don't want to use this tripod is I want to keep everything the same and just pull the camera off as easily as possible, so that when I put it back on, I can continue those transition shots afterwards with this 18 millimeter lens. So 3 attempts tonight. When I did the Comet, little sidebar, sorry, squirrel moment, I used the 50 millimeter lens, 300 millimeter focal length, as well as the 2800 millimeter in the original configuration of the Edge. So, but I had done the wide field 50 millimeter shots the night before. So tonight we're going to be trying to do all 3 in one night, and we'll see how that goes. So 3 things: transition, wide field shot of the moon going across and through the phases. 2, planetary mode, trying to get some super high res with the Edge. And number 3, 600 millimeter effective 900 millimeter telephoto lens to at least make sure I get a good shot. And if you're curious, the images that I've been using at the end of all my videos of the moon was with this camera, the 600 millimeter lens, and that is a full frame image, no cropping whatsoever. So it does get out there and gets a good shot of it. So with that, I'm going to finish hooking this thing up and get back in the warmth until it's time to get this thing polar aligned. See you in a little bit. Thank you. Bye.
All right, welcome back. So as you saw there, I have Stellarium and I'm using that as my mount controller. So we're just getting the moon in frame here. As you can see, we've got the eclipse started already. It's about 50-60%. So now we're going to just test with planetary mode, try to get some of these shots in so that we can do a practice stack. So let's fast forward and see what we get here. Now, as you saw, I only did about 100 frames, and I'm saving it as an AVI and individual JPEGs. So now I'm going to do the bottom half. I'll do another video, go over this a little bit more in depth next time the supermoon comes around, or rather the full moon, so that we can go over that process as well. There's just a lot going on this one, so I want to just be able to more focus on what I'm doing, and I'll delve into the planetary mode, and we'll see what we can get. In that particular one, I'd like to try and get some super high res. I'm thinking about breaking out the 2x teleconverter and taking multiple panels of the full moon, try to get a super high res stacked image, and yeah, but that'll be for a later video, because clearly it's going to be about a month before the next full moon, so we'll worry about it then. So right now, let's finish up on this guy and see what we got next. Okay, well, as you see, the bright part of the moon there during the eclipse is now in the lower right corner. I had to do a meridian flip. It crossed the meridian, and unfortunately I had to flip it over, so that's going to mean a little bit more post-processing to rotate that, but that's minor in the grand scheme of things. Wow, I cannot talk. So let's let this go through and see what we get. Okay, well, you see I had some clouds come through And, you know, I don't know what I'm going to be able to do with this right now, but let's see if we can just at least get some images of the eclipse. Probably won't be able to do what I'd like to do, but it is what it is at this point. It's kind of funny though. Excuse me. I had dithering turned on. That's not going to work if I'm not tracking. Oh well. So let's see what we get here. Looks kind of pinkish, doesn't it? Which that's fine. I could probably fix that in post. Okay. As you can see, it's still on the eclipse. But here we are looping, and I should be centered. So clearly my guide scope is not centered with my OTA. I'm going to have to fix that. It hasn't been too big of a problem, but I don't know how much impact having it not centered or not synchronized with your OTA really impacts the tracking or not. But I'm going to try to get that fixed at some point, just to take that out of a possibility of any tracking issues. But for that, I think for now, I'm going to go out and get my other camera going for the 600 millimeter shots, and then see what we got. So I shall be back. And welcome back. And here is the T7i with the 600 millimeter telephoto lens. Couldn't quite get it into focus the way I wanted it, but still an interesting little shot of the eclipse. You know, Facebook worthy, but not mental print worthy. But lessons were learned. So when it happens again in 18 years, I'll be ready. Next eclipse will actually be in a couple years, so won't have to wait that long. But for the super blood wolf moon, yeah, 18 years, I believe it is. And here, if you saw, I was panning up and down. I took a series of shots with the lower half and another series of shots with the upper half, stacked them individually, and then basically did a mosaic blend, merge, stack, whatever you want to call it. And, you know, I like it. Nice little high-res type image, not super high-res. But now that I know I can do that, the next full moon, if it's clear, I'm actually thinking of breaking out the teleconverter. I got a 1.4 and a 2x for use with my normal camera, and I'm thinking I might try one or both to see if I can do a multi-panel mosaic and really get in there and see if I can get some high-res shots of this thing. So, but I like it. Looks pretty good. And now it's just a single shot that I took as the eclipse was nearing totality. And, you know, kind of looks like a semi-crescent moon, but not. You know, just fascinating watching some of this stuff unfold. You know, it's one thing to be standing out there looking up with the naked eye, but to actually see it transition, you know, awe. That's all I can say. And here we are in totality. You know, still has a bit of a pinkish, reddish tint to it. I think that's because I have this camera astro modified, and I'm getting more reds in, and it's less natural. Tried to tweak it a little bit in Lightroom, but I just couldn't get it the way I felt it should have been. I might have to go into Photoshop to do it, but that's a project for another day. So for now, I think that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Appreciate all my subscribers. If you like the video, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell if you want notified, and yeah, appreciate you. Hope you have a good rest of your day, and clear skies. See you later.